from other countries, but it's a U.S. company that had many of its employees on board. Two veteran pilots and aviation experts join me here in our New York studio, JP Testani and Kyle Bailey. I welcome both of you. So you first, Kyle. What about this? If it wasn't terrorism, what was it?
In my opinion, it basically was terrorism. The airplane is constantly communicating. It has an ACAR system, which is broadcasting about every 2 minutes to the Boeing headquarters as well as to the airline headquarters.
So that happens automatically?
Automatically, and virtually every aircraft parameter is on there and transmitted. So there really is no way that the aircraft could just disappear.
All right, so I just want to be clear on that.
Sure.
Even if the aircraft was incapacitated in terms of everything out, there would be a signal, as long as it still existed, there would be an automatic signal at a computer someplace in the Boeing headquarters there in the state of Washington.
Well, the signal would stop at some point if the airplane was completely destroyed, obviously. But that signal is transmitted to the airline headquarters as well as the Boeing headquarters.
Okay. Now, JP Tristan, when you have a plane that loses power, let's just say the engines blow up, it still has wings, it still has a tail. If you were at 30,000 feet, I mean, it takes you a while to hit the ground. I mean, you glide down, right, without an engine, isn't that so?
Well, not so much without an engine out. You're going to pick up about a 2,000, maybe 2,500 foot per minute rate of descent. So they were at 35,000 feet. You do the math, but within 10 or 12 minutes, even gliding down, you're going to be into the ground.
But the key is 10 or 12 minutes. You have plenty of time to send some kind of signal.
And that's the problem. Pilots are trained instinctively to go immediately to do two things. One is fly the airplane in an abnormal or an emergency, and the other one is to communicate. Now, no transmissions came out of that aircraft. None. No pilot made a transmission. You are trained to call for assistance. ATC first, you can then communicate with the company, even with the manufacturer. Nothing, and that implies to me what is being worded now, a catastrophe occurred.
What do you mean by that?
A catastrophe.
Could it have been just a benign fuel explosion that took out that airplane?
That's not improbable, but I would say that's outside of my spectrum of probabilities. It's far out. But so would be the incapacitation of the crew due to a loss of pressurization. So in other words, hypoxia.
So we
that's
go back
also out there.
So an explosion.
All right. So that depressurization could be a subtle incapacitation because the crew did not activate the cabin ceiling. In other words, the aircraft rose and the cabin rose with the aircraft. Remember Payne, the golfer? That's what happened
in a private car. But you're saying, Kyle, you're saying terror.
My gut feeling right now is that it is terror.
Okay.
And of course, I mean, there could
we
be
don't know yet.
A 1 in a million chance or something else.
Something else.
Sure,
One
exactly.
in a million, but a long shot. Something bad happened.
Exactly.
Okay. Jim Hall, former NTSB, National Transport Safety Board Chairman. You're on the phone there, Jim. Thank you so much. You've got the NTSB fellows headed there along with the FBI. How unusual is it for the FBI to go with the NTSB for an accident investigation?
Well, it's not unusual at all. And in fact, it's rather commonplace since the 90s and TWA 800 and other accidents. But now we do, one thing we do know is that until we found the recorders, we really won't know whether this is a criminal investigation or whether it was a mechanical or malfunction of the aircraft.
How rare is it to not find the wreckage with all these assets looking for the aircraft?
Well, it's very unfortunate that after 5 years after Air France, with the availability of the technology of deployable flight recorders, which are used in the United States military, that we still have not at the international level required deployable recorders on these aircraft that fly over the ocean.
Isn't that amazing? On my sailboat, I have an automatic device that if my boat sinks, it floats to the surface. And if I was gone, drowned, whatever, and they don't have it or did not have it on this Malaysian airliner, that's absolutely scandalous, I think. But I've got to let you go. Jim Hall, thank you. Kyle Bailey, JP Tristan, thank you, gentlemen, very much. The former New York City Police Commissioner Bernard Kerik is next on his take on the possibility of terror and much more to do.